Hello everyone, welcome to the today geography session. Okay, uh, today we will start with the topic types of farming on lesson number 9 agriculture on page number 55. Okay, so last time we have studied that what type of occupations can be practiced along with agriculture. Yes, so the occupations which are related to agriculture, apart from agriculture, these all occupations like poultry, beekeeping, pisciculture, sericulture, nursery, all this type of farming can be practiced, right? Now let us continue with the topic types of farming. Different types of agriculture have evolved due to geographical and cultural diversity and technological differences in different regions. Now, why there is that agriculture is not of the same kind everywhere? No, every place there will be different type of agriculture practice according to the what are the climatic conditions prevailing there, what is the type of the land there available, yes or no. So many things are there, and we know India is a land of diversity. All the geographical and cultural diversities are there. Also, somewhere the technology is very much sophisticated, somewhere it is still traditional, some areas are remote backward areas, so that's why the technology differs in the different regions. So according to the availability all these factors, there will be the type of agriculture practiced over there. The type of farming depends upon the purpose and aims of methods of farming. Means the whatever type of farming we want to carry out will always depend upon what type of crop, what for what purpose you are going to grow the crop, and what is the aims of the method of farming, which type of method of farming is going to be followed. Also, the type of farming depends upon being cultivated, the crops being cultivated, the techniques used, and land use, etc. Which type of land is used for that particular land only. If suppose the soil is suitable for wheat and jawar, then only that kind of crops can be cultivated over there. So whatever crops are cultivated, then it depends on the land and the soil availability, and also what types of techniques are used. Okay, modern techniques are used or primitive techniques are used, backward techniques are used, depends upon that. So everything, all these factors decides that what type of farming is going to happen. Broadly, the following types of agriculture can be identified. So they have given in a tabular form. Let us see that. Types of farming. First, the types of farming is categorized into two, that is subsistence farming and commercial farming. Now, subsistence farming is again further classified into intensive farming and shifting cultivation, while commercial farming is classified into extensive grain farming, plantation farming, market gardening, and horticulture. So let us see one by one. First, we will understand the type of farming. That first type of farming, that is subsistence farming. Okay, intensive farming and shifting cultivation are the two types in traditional farming. So previously, when all the traditional occupations were traditional methods were used for farming, at that time this method was used and it was called as intensive farming. Okay, and also shifting cultivation, these were the two types which were practiced in the olden days. These methods are traditional methods. Intensive farming is carried out in one and the same farm for years together. So they are using that one place, that one land itself, that same place, they are doing the farming for years and years together. Okay. In shifting cultivation, every year a new area is chosen for cultivation. So see, understand the difference. Intensive farming is practiced on the same land for years and years, while shifting cultivation is practiced on a new area. Okay, every time one cultivation is over, then after that some new area is chosen for the other cultivation. That's why it is called as shifting. Shift means what? To shift from one place to another. So cultivation is shifted from one place to another, right? After a specific period of time, old areas are again used for cultivation. Now in shifting cultivation, how many times you can find out new areas? It is very impossible. So what they do, after some period of time, again they come back to the old areas and do the cultivation there. Okay, let us see now in subsistence farming the first type, that is intensive farming. Getting maximum production from a minimum area is the characteristic of intensive farming. So remember, the feature of the main characteristic of intensive farming is what? You have to obtain more production, maximum production, by cultivating from, by doing the cultivation in a minimum area. Yes or no? If we are using the same land, the same area again and again, that means for cultivation very limited area is used. Yes, and from that limited area we are trying to get maximum production from that minimum area. So that is the special characteristic of this intensive farming. Due to large population, now let us see what are the drawbacks or the plus points of this farming. Due to large population or limited availability of land, per head holding is small. Now, as we all know that India is a large populated country, and the availability of land is very less. So, due to these two reasons, per head holding is small, means the land available for per person is very less. You can imagine, it is like more people and less land. So, if you try to distribute evenly, then per person holding of land will be very less, very small. Yes, this type of farming is mostly seen in developing regions. So the regions which are developing, which are not yet developed, we can see this type of farming is mostly practiced in such regions which are under development. Farm production is sufficient only for the requirement of the family. So the one who is practicing intensive farming, the production which they are getting is very limited. It is very small, only sufficient for the entire family of the farmer. So it is not satisfying the requirement of the people. On the other hand, it is only satisfying the requirement of the family. So that means we get very less production from this type of farming. In this type of farming, the cultivator and his family are totally dependent on farming. Now in this type of farming, since very less production is getting, so the one who is cultivating the land and his entire family are all dependent on this farming. Means they have no other source of income. They are only depending on this farming. As farm production is low, the economic condition of the cultivator is also poor. So you can understand, farmers, they are not getting good production of crops from the farming, and even they are not carrying out any other occupation. They are only dependent on this occupation. So their income source is very low, and that's why they are called as poor farmers. Okay, because their economic condition is very low, very weak. So in this type of farming, mostly animate energy is used. What do you mean by animate energy? Means the laborers, the farmers himself, and the draught animal. Draught animal means what? Bullocks, cows, etc. Or they are used for the farming work. So these are called as animate energy. So remember, in this type of farming, only the farmers, their family, and animals which are required for farm, only this people, means no other tools, implements, machines, tractors, all those are modern equipments are not used. Okay, besides, the cereals, vegetables are also grown to some extent. So even in this intensive farming, the production is less, but still we can grow this type of crops, that is cereals, vegetables. They are also grown to some extent, practicing this intensive type of farming. Okay, I'll take a pause over here, and bye, take care, have a nice day.